Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something really important and I need you to pay close attention. You know those times when everything seems to be going wrong and you feel alone, like God is isolating you from everyone else. It can be pretty scary, right? But don't worry, I'm here to help you understand what's going on. When God isolates you, He's preparing something very special for you. It might seem tough, but this is the moment when you must avoid making a crucial mistake. Want to know what it is? I promise that if you listen closely, you'll learn how to turn this period of isolation into a time of growth and transformation. Never do this when you feel isolated by God. And I'll show you the right path to overcome this phase. You're not alone, and together, we'll find the solution. But first, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because the next videos will be a series of content that will help you improve your spiritual life. Purpose of isolation. Did you know that being alone occasionally can be a very good thing? It might sound strange, right? But think about it. When we are alone, away from the daily rush, and without a lot of people talking around us, we have a golden chance to think about important things and talk to God in a very special way. Let's imagine our mind as a garden. When we are alone, we can take care of this garden with more love, pulling out the weeds and planting beautiful flowers. This helps us feel better inside. This moment of isolation is like a magical pause that allows us to look inside ourselves. We can discover new things about ourselves, about what we like, our dreams, and even what we want to improve. It's like we're drawing a map of our heart. And you know what's coolest? In this quietness, we can hear God's voice whispering, giving us advice and guiding us on our path. It's like He's whispering in our ear, helping us understand what really matters in life. Sometimes it can seem boring or even difficult to be alone, but think about it. It's like training for our soul. Just as we train the body to get stronger, training the mind and spirit is also super important. When we're alone, we learn to be more patient, calmer, and more grateful for everything we have. It's a time to recharge our energy and become stronger to face the daily challenges. Opportunity for growth. Hi again. Let's talk about something really cool, how isolation can be an opportunity for growth. Sometimes we might think that being alone is boring or sad, but it can actually be a very special moment to learn and grow. Imagine you're in a very quiet place without noise, without anyone calling you all the time. In this place, you can hear your own thoughts better and even talk to God more deeply. When we are alone, we have the chance to think about our life, our dreams, and our goals. It's like we're in a very different classroom, where the teacher is our own experience and God, who is always ready to guide us. In this time, we can realize what we want to change, what we want to improve, and even discover new interests and passions. You know that drawing you love to make, or that book you've always wanted to read? During isolation, you can dedicate more time to these activities, learning new things and having fun at the same time. It's a perfect period to develop new skills and grow as a person. Additionally, it's an incredible opportunity to listen to God's voice. Amid the silence, we can feel the divine presence more clearly and better understand the plans He has for us. But that's not all. This time also helps us become stronger and more resilient. When we face loneliness and use this moment to reflect, we become more prepared to deal with life's difficulties. It's like we're building an invisible armor made of patience, wisdom, and faith. And look, if at any moment you feel sad or discouraged, remember that this is part of the process. Growing isn't always easy, but it's very rewarding. God is always by your side, ready to support and guide you. Use this time of isolation as a golden chance to connect with Him and discover all the good you have inside you. Each small step you take on this path is a big advance towards a fuller and more spiritual life. Avoid negative distractions. Hi, let's talk about something important now: how to avoid negative distractions during isolation. You know, when we're alone, it's easy to fall into the temptation of doing things that don't help us grow, like overeating or doing nothing all day. But let's think differently. Imagine your mind as a beautiful garden, and to keep it that way, we need to take good care of it and avoid things that could ruin it. First, let's talk about gluttony. Eating is a wonderful thing, right? But overeating, especially unhealthy things, can make us lazy and without energy. During isolation, it's important to maintain a balanced diet full of fruits, vegetables, and other good things for our body. Think of food as the fuel you put in a car. If we put the right fuel, the car works well and takes us where we want to go. Our body is the same thing. Now, about laziness. Everyone likes to rest, but being idle all the time can make us feel down and unwilling to do things. It's like leaving our garden full of weeds. Instead, how about finding activities that make you feel good and productive? It can be anything you like: drawing, reading, exercising, or even learning something new. These activities help keep our mind positively occupied and make us feel good. During this time, it's also a good idea to establish a routine. Having times to wake up, eat, exercise, and rest helps keep our day more organized and productive. It's like taking care of a garden. We need to water the plants at the right time, weed out, and make sure everything is growing well. Our routine works the same way. Another important thing is not letting negative thoughts take over our mind. Sometimes, when we're alone, we can start thinking about things that make us sad or worried. In these moments, it's good to remember everything we have good in life and be grateful for these things. Gratitude is like a sun that shines in our garden, making everything grow more beautiful and healthy. So, have you ever been through a lonely moment? Leave a comment, and we will respond to everyone. Staying active. Let's continue our conversation about how to make the most of isolation in a positive way. One of the most important things to remember during this time is the importance of staying active. When we spend a lot of time indoors, it's easy to feel lonely or bored. But just like we need to water our garden for it to keep blooming, we need to take care of our body and mind to feel good. Staying physically active is a great way to improve mood and increase energy. You don't need to do complicated or intense exercises. It can be something simple like stretching, dancing, or even walking around the house. The important thing is to move your body and have fun while doing it. Imagine your body is like a tree in the garden. It needs movement and care to grow strong and healthy. In addition to physical exercises, it's important to find ways to stay socially active, even when we are isolated. Thanks to technology, we can keep in touch with friends and family through video calls, text messages, or social media. Having meaningful conversations with loved ones can make a big difference in our emotional well-being. It's like having a bench in the garden where you sit to chat with a dear friend. Another way to stay active is to seek new hobbies or interests. It can be something you've always wanted to try, like learning to cook, paint, play an instrument, or even write. These new interests can bring joy and satisfaction, besides keeping the mind positively occupied. It's like planting new seeds in your garden, waiting to see what will bloom. And don't forget to take care of your mind too. Practices like reading, meditation, and mindfulness help keep the mind active and healthy. Reading a good book can be an incredible journey without leaving home. Meditating and practicing mindfulness help maintain focus on the present and reduce stress. It's like finding a quiet corner in the garden where you can relax and reconnect with yourself. Avoid comparisons. Let's talk about something that can be challenging during isolation: avoiding comparisons. You know, it's very easy to look at other people's lives and start thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. But let me tell you a secret. Every garden is unique and special in its own way. When we compare ourselves to others, we end up feeling inadequate or discouraged. Maybe you see on social media that your friends are doing amazing things and feel down because your life seems less interesting. But remember, social media often shows only people's best moments. It's like seeing only the prettiest flowers in the garden without noticing all the work and effort that went into cultivating them. Let's imagine our life as a journey. Each person has their own path with unique challenges and achievements. Comparing our journey to someone else's is like comparing a tree to a flower. Each has its own beauty and purpose. When we understand this, we can appreciate our own path and feel more satisfied with what we have. Instead of comparing, try to focus on your own journey. Think about the things you've already achieved and the goals you still want to reach. Recognize your own qualities and talents and how you can use them to grow and help others. It's like taking care of your garden, paying attention to your own plants and flowers, not the neighbors. Another important thing is to practice gratitude. When we are grateful for what we have, our perspective changes. We can start to see the beauty in the small things of our daily life and value our own experiences. Gratitude is like a magical fertilizer that makes our garden bloom even more beautifully. If you feel like you are comparing yourself too much to others, try to take a break. Take a deep breath and remember all the good things in your life. Think about how you can use this isolation time to grow and develop. Maybe you can learn something new, improve a skill, or just spend more time doing things that make you happy. Keeping the faith. Let's talk about something very important: keeping the faith. In times of isolation, sometimes we can feel alone or lost. But you know, faith is like a little light at the end of the tunnel that helps us keep walking, even when everything seems dark. Keeping the faith means believing that God is always with us, guiding and protecting us, even when we can't see or understand what's happening. Imagine our life as a long walk through a forest. Sometimes the path is clear and easy to follow. Other times, it may be full of obstacles and seem confusing. But faith is like a compass that keeps us in the right direction, reminding us that we are not alone on this journey. During isolation, it may be easier to feel fear or uncertainty. In these moments, it's important to remember all the times God has already helped us in the past. Thinking about the good things that have already happened in our life can give us strength and courage to continue. It's like watering the plants in our garden with gratitude water, helping them grow strong and healthy. Another way to keep the faith is through prayer. Praying is like having a direct conversation with God, where we can express our fears, hopes, and thanks. It's a special moment to connect with Him and feel His presence. Imagine that prayer is like a bridge that connects us directly to God's heart. Through it, we can find comfort and guidance. In addition to prayer, reading inspiring stories or passages from the Bible can help us strengthen our faith. These stories show us how other people have overcome challenges and how God was with them at all times. They are like seeds of hope that we plant in our garden, waiting to bloom and inspire us. If at any moment you feel overwhelmed, remember that it's normal and okay to ask for help. Talking to friends, family, or members of your community can bring comfort and support. Sometimes hearing a kind word or wise advice can make all the difference. We are all on this journey together, and supporting each other is an important part of the path. Hey, I noticed you haven't liked this video yet. It's very important for YouTube to deliver our content so we can continue helping you. Go ahead and like this video, it's free. Patience with time. Let's talk about something super important, having patience with time. You know, sometimes we want things to happen quickly, but the truth is, everything has its right moment. It's like planting a seed in the garden. There's no use being impatient, waiting for it to grow overnight. We need to give time for nature to do its work, watering the seed and taking care of it with love. Having patience is recognizing that God's timing is perfect. He has a plan for each of us, and everything happens at the right time, even if we don't understand it now. When we feel impatient, it's like we're trying to force a flower to bloom before its time. This can end up harming its growth. During isolation, it's easy to feel stuck and that nothing is happening. But actually, this time can be a valuable opportunity to learn and grow. Think of isolation as a period when the seed is underground, strengthening and preparing to bloom. Although we can't see what's happening, we know something important is going on there. To help develop patience, try to find joy in the small things of everyday life. Each moment can be a chance to learn something new, to connect more deeply with yourself and with God. It can be something simple like appreciating the beauty of a sunset, listening to the birds singing, or feeling the breeze on your face. These small experiences are like drops of water that nourish our inner garden. Another way to practice patience is by setting small daily goals. Instead of worrying about what's to come, focus on what you can do today to feel good and productive. Each small achievement is an important step on your path. It's like taking care of each plant in the garden, one at a time, ensuring that all receive the necessary attention. Patience also teaches us to be more compassionate and kind, both with ourselves and with others. Sometimes we can be hard on ourselves, demanding more than we can give at the moment. But it's important to remember that we are all learning and growing, and that each stage has its value. Practicing self-compassion is like taking care of the most delicate plants in the garden, giving them time and space to grow strong. Valuing silence. Let's talk about something we often forget, but which is very powerful: silence. In a world full of noise and distractions, finding moments of silence can seem difficult, but they are essential for our well-being and spiritual growth. Silence is like a magical pause in the middle of our busy routine. Imagine your mind is like a lake. When it's full of waves and movement, it's hard to see the bottom. But when everything calms down, the water becomes clear, and we can see everything more clearly. Silence does that with our thoughts and feelings. It allows us to see more clearly what is happening inside us. During isolation, we have a perfect opportunity to value these moments of silence. Sometimes it can seem uncomfortable to be alone with our thoughts. But this is actually a precious moment to hear God's voice and our own intuition. It's like sitting by the lake and observing the beauty of the calm water. When we are silent, we can reflect on our life, our choices, and our deepest desires. It's a time to ask important questions and listen to the answers that come from our heart. These moments of introspection help us understand better who we are and what we really want. It's like a gardener carefully observing each plant, understanding its needs, and taking care of every detail. Practicing silence also helps us reduce stress and anxiety. When we step back and take a deep breath, our mind and body calm down. We can feel a sense of peace and clarity that is hard to find amid daily noise. It's like finding a quiet corner in our garden where we can rest and recharge. One way to value silence is by setting aside time every day to meditate or simply be quiet. It can be just a few minutes, but this time can make a big difference. Sit in a comfortable place, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Let thoughts come and go without clinging to them. Just be present at the moment. Another powerful practice is mindfulness, which is being fully present in everything we do. When we are eating, we can truly savor each bite. When we are walking, we can feel each step. Being fully present helps us value small moments of silence and find peace in our daily lives. In addition, silence connects us with nature in a special way. If you have the chance, spend some time outdoors, listening to the sounds of nature. The singing of birds, the sound of the wind in the trees, the murmur of a stream, all these natural sounds have a calming effect and help us feel more connected to the world around us. It's like walking through a garden full of life and beauty. Maintaining relationships. Let's talk about something very important, especially during isolation: maintaining relationships. When we are isolated, it can be easy to feel that we are alone. But the truth is that we are never completely alone. Maintaining connections with other people is essential for our emotional and spiritual health. Relationships are like flowers in our garden. They need care, attention, and love to bloom. Even if we can't be physically close to our friends and family, there are many ways to keep these connections strong and healthy. Thanks to technology, we can make video calls, send text messages, or even write letters. These small actions can make a big difference and remind us that we are part of a community. Imagine you have a friend you haven't seen in a long time. How about sending a message to see how they are? Asking about their day and sharing your own experiences can bring joy and comfort to both of you. Keeping these regular conversations is like watering the flowers in the garden, helping them grow and bloom. Besides, participating in online communities or interest groups can be a great way to meet new people and strengthen existing bonds. You can find groups that share the same interests, like reading, gardening, cooking, or spirituality. These groups are like a community garden where everyone takes care of the plants together and shares experiences and knowledge. It is also important to remember to show gratitude and appreciation for the people in our lives. A simple thank you or a sincere compliment can brighten someone's day. Gratitude is like the sun that shines in the garden, making everything grow stronger and healthier. When we express our gratitude, we strengthen our relationships and spread positivity around us. Another important thing is to offer emotional support. We all face challenges, and sometimes all we need is someone to listen. If a friend or family member is going through a difficult time, offer a listening ear and words of encouragement. This kind of support is like fertilizing the soil, providing essential nutrients for the growth and health of the plants. Don't forget to take care of yourself too. To maintain healthy relationships, it is important to be well with yourself. Take time for your own needs and well-being. When we are balanced and happy, we are able to offer more to others. It's like being a healthy gardener who can take better care of the garden. Maintaining relationships also helps us grow spiritually. Sharing experiences, prayers, and reflections with others can strengthen our faith and help us see things from new perspectives. It's like having several hands working together in the garden, each contributing in a unique and valuable way. Before you go, there's one more thing you need to know. Ever wondered why the chosen ones face so much hardship just before their big breakthrough? It's not by chance. Check out my next video, 7 Reasons Why the Chosen Are Treated Poorly Before the Breakthrough. Discover the hidden truths and powerful insights that will help you navigate your toughest times. Click here to watch it now and continue your journey to understanding and empowerment. Don't miss it.